It's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Conrad's on the phone with us this morning. He's not here in person, but hopefully next week he'll be back. Conrad, will you be back next week?
Yes, I should be back next week. Hey, I have a question for Mars.
Well, he's not here.
Is Palermo leather near Corinthian leather?
No. Palermo leather is not anywhere close to Corinthian leather because they came across the Palermo leather because I suggested it after my nickname, Palermo Don Armstrong. So.
Oh, gosh.
Palermo is about 500 miles south of Corinthian.
Palermo is 500 miles south of Corinthian?
Yeah.
Okay. Move your microphone back up.
It's softer cows.
Softer cows. That's right. Well, never mind. I don't even want to go there. My mind works in strange and mysterious ways.
It's a strange world.
Yes, it
Nothing
is.
better than a soft cow.
So, Conrad, we kind of ended our conversation with our turbo guy with the Buick, but to me that's a rare car.
Very much so.
And that speaks to me in the fact that it's not a Grand National turbo; it's a T-type. And I did not know the difference between the two. I just figured that they changed the names. Had no clue that it was not the same motor.
Yeah, the T-Type was maybe a little bit more luxurious, on the Buick side of things, where the Grand National was an out-and-out, high-performance car.
But did you understand what I said to you about the fact that, those guys were – I didn't understand it because, are you kidding me? A turbocharger, a V6. It just didn't fall into the category that I was familiar with, hot rod and V8s.
Oh, yeah, there was a whole – crew of people who were into that Buick V6 and did a wonderful job with it. And yeah, they were not necessarily outcasts, but they were considered odd ducks because everybody was building V8s. Remember NHRA? You remember a guy named Buddy Ingersoll?
Yes, I do.
In Pro Stock?
Yeah.
Buddy Ingersoll ran a Buick Turbo V6 one time in NHRA Pro Stock, and then they banned him. And then they banned the turbocharged motor.
Why? Because he beat everybody?
Because he dominated the show.
Well, back then, I don't think that the rules were as strict as they were today, or they are today.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, and I was saddened to learn that apparently they're not running the Pro Stocks in Brainerd this weekend.
Yeah, the class isn't running at all.
I just don't understand that. I don't understand why they would not run that. I don't understand. There's so many things about NHRA that I don't understand. And they don't, for instance, the Pro Mods. Why don't they, because of the popularity of them, and let's face it, the things are wickedly fast, why don't they, when there's no Pro Stock class running at NHRA, why don't they bump up the Pro Mods to take their place, so to speak?
Yep.
Isn't it
well, the weird thing is they're not running Pro Stock at Brainerd, but they are running mountain motor cars, which is basically unlimited engine size in Pro Stock. Some of those have got 900 cubic inch V8s in them.
Well, and that's fine, well and good, but they do nothing to promote outside of the three main categories.
Right.
Top fuel dragster, top fuel funny car, and Pro Stock. They do nothing with the rest of every class in the world under the sun. And why don't they pick one? And if it doesn't work one year, then move on to another class. Do something.
Right. No, I completely agree. And when you look at how much support they get in the, let's say, the super stock category, which is where Stan Holt's racing this weekend up there. Oh, and by the way, Stan qualified sixth as of last night after qualifying round 2. So he's set up for victory right now. So he's had a good outing. But super stock is such creative, different cars in super stock as well.
Doesn't it boil down to money? Teams with money and the The divisions?
Well, yes, of course. But, I mean, the faster you go, the more it costs. It's just the same as being in the street category. You know, if you want to win doing street anything, hey, throw more money at it and more parts.
But also, I mean, week after week after week, so they've got to take a break sometime. They've got to reroute the schedule sometime.
No, I disagree.
Not at that level.
No, not at the pro stock. It's like saying, oh, well, you know, the guys in the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball need a week off. No, they don't.
Right.
They're off for 6 months out of the year. Hey, we're going to run it every weekend. I don't get all of that with them being off on weekends here and there. No, but that's just me, and I'm thinking more along the lines of keeping things going.
Gotcha.
That's just me. Okay, who's our guest?
Joining us, what color is that?
His name is
Star Mist Blue.
A Star
His
Mist
name
Blue.
is Star Mist Blue.
57 T-Bird sitting over here with that Charlie Miller owns. And it's a very striking vehicle sitting over there amongst all these muscle cars. It's kind of surrounded over there.
Yes, it is.
What year is it?
1957. T-Bird. Thunderbird. Ford. Thunderbird.
Charlie, why did you get into Thunderbirds? Have you always been a Thunderbird man?
No, I really haven't. I do have several other cars, but this particular one I like to take out. It's really fun to drive. It's my go-to Sonic drive-in car.
Yeah,
there you go.
It fits the motif there quite
Right,
a bit.
yeah.
But what's really interesting about it is how I got it. This was back in 2017 during the time of Hurricane Harvey.
Oh, boy.
I was looking for another car to, work on a project car. And I was going through the internet and came across this 57, the right color that I had wanted, the Star Mist Blue with the white top and the portholes and so forth. And I noticed this car for sale in Belleville, which isn't too far from here, which made a nice trip out of that if I was going to go. Unfortunately, the very next day, my wife and I had scheduled to have a party for my mother-in-law for her 90th birthday in San Antonio. Well, we had to leave early because of the heavy rains from Harvey, and so we made that trip to San Antonio but couldn't get back for 3 days. When I got back, I went back on the internet and looked up that car, and it was no longer posted. There was no information about it. It had been taken off. All the contact information was gone. But I did print out a picture of the car before I had ever left, just having my file there. And I began looking at the picture, trying to figure out where on earth could this be in Belleville. And there were
Call the Belleville Police Department. They probably know.
Actually, they would have known for sure. But what I did is I looked at it and I saw two things. One was a red building in the background with arches on it, and a funny-looking sign, which kind of reminded me of a Texas historical sign.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other picture, I noticed a yellow frame of a kind of a Victorian-style house. And I said, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can find out who this is. So I went ahead and went to the Texas historical road signs and put in Belleville, and there was only 11, I think, in Belleville. And I quickly came across the red building. Well, it was part of the municipal police department.
Oh, my gosh, how funny.
So anyway, I went ahead and wrote down that address, and I went on Google and did a map pin drop, did a 360 viewing of that location, and sure enough, I spotted the yellow-framed house at the corner of, two different streets.
So in other words, you stalked this guy.
Yeah, I stalked this guy.
Uh-huh.
Well, it gets worse than that. So after I located an address, I began looking it up, and there was no telephone. No contact information. Right. But I researched then historical home tours in Belleville, and I came across the mention of that address, but it had no longer been on a tour since about 2012. So I thought, well, I don't know if this is going to work, but there's a number here if you wanted to call to tour that home back from 2012. It's no longer shown as a listed number, but let me try that. So I called that phone number, and an elderly man answered the phone and said, who is this? And I told him who I was, and he said, well, how'd you get this number? And I kind of gave him a brief summary and said, I found it on a historical site deal. And he said, well, I just want to let you know, I haven't used this number in about 9 years.
Oh, wow.
And he said, it was my fax machine. But because of Hurricane Harvey, I lost my cell phone contact information.
Well, it was meant for you to call that number and him to answer it.
Exactly right. So he said I plugged in my old phone that I found into the fax machine, and this is the first call I've ever answered.
Was it a Princess phone?
It probably was.
Did you tell him you were calling to get his warranty?
That's right. His automobile needed a warranty update. But anyway, he said no, that he had taken his car off because his wife had passed away many years ago, and he quit using the phone.
Don't tell me he was the original owner of the car.
No, he wasn't. He was actually the third owner of the car. The car has a little bit of history with it, and I'll mention that in just a second. But anyway, he told me that, the car had been sold. And he said, it's still sitting here, though, and the guy's not making any phone calls back. He said, why don't you come out and look at it and see if you like the car? So I grabbed my wife, and she begrudgingly went with me and said, not another car. Well, anyway, we went there and sat down and met with him, and he turned out to be 88 years old. He was just trying to get rid of things around the house. He wanted to go ahead and, make it easy on the family. And he said, look, the guy's never contacted me anymore. I don't know what's happening, but if you want the car, we'll make a deal. So I went ahead and made a deal because I figured if it went to all this trouble to find him and he went to all this trouble to bring me out and to plug in his phone, it's the right thing to do. So I ended up buying the car and drove it home from Belleville.
Wow.
And it's original car. I've done a few little minor things to it, redid
Original
the brakes.
motor. Does it have two roofs to it?
It does have the two roofs. Yes, it does.
Is it an E code?
I wish it were. No, it's a D code, so it's got the 4-barrel carburetor on it. It is a 312 engine, 240 horsepower, the 3-speed automatic.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, it is for today's standards. Absolutely. So anyway, that's kind of how it came to be. The car itself, he had bought it back like 20 years before.
Has it got a 2-speed automatic in it?
Actually, it may be a 2-speed, because they had 2 and 3 speeds about that time frame. I'll be honest with you, I haven't measured the only way to really tell from the outside is measuring the actual transmission midsection. But I haven't done that yet. And but anyway, he said the car has a little bit of history to it. And I said, well, what kind of history is that? And he said, well, this car was in a movie with Jessica Alba and Mickey O'Rourke and Bruce Willis. And I'm going, what movie could that be? Well, then he told me what it was, and I said, oh, no.
What was
it?
Really?
Well, it was called Sin City.
I've seen
I'm sure that when you told your wife that, she went, what?
I think
That's
I've seen it.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
She said, oh, no, not a car with a history like that.
Sin City.
Anyway, we brought the car home, and I tinker with it when I have a chance, but I retired several years ago, and she said, well, at least I know where you're at. You're in the garage. You're messing around with another car, and that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
You know what you need, Charlie? You need a vanity plate that says Sin City on it. That's what you need.
I hadn't thought about that,
Yeah,
but you're
I'm gonna have
probably
to go watch it.
you're probably right.
Yeah.
Either that or just sin.
Sin. There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, she thinks I created one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So you have other cars?
Yes, I do.
What do you have?
Well, I also have a 71 Super Beetle.
Oh.
That's the fun car just to drive around for the heck of it. I have a 88 DeLorean, and I have a 81 DeLorean. I have an 88 Toyota MR2 supercharged. What else is there?
So when you tinker,
This is embarrassing.
When you tinker in the garage, you really tinker.
Yeah, I really do.
He tinkers with his wants and needs of having cool cars.
Well, I also got my sons involved, and one of my sons lives here closely.
Blame it on them.
Yeah.
Does your wife tell you that?
Yeah, a little bit. But now my daughter-in-law says, you got to work on all these cars. So I've worked on her Jaguar, which, believe me, I know all about Lucas Electronics now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes. Well, the DeLorean also has Lucas Electronics.
Oh, great.
Well, I should say had Lucas Electronics. I changed them all out. And
we have a connection with DeLorean.
Oh, you do?
We do. As a matter of fact, we have had the owner of the DeLorean Motor Company,
Stephen Wynn,
on our show many times. Great guy. And, of course, the DeLorean factory, if you will, is up Humble. Is
Yes.
it, Mars?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
up in Humble. And so if you need some help anytime, just let us know.
Actually, a long time ago, when we actually got the DeLorean, we actually had two at one time, but my son has it now. I met Stephen Wynn back when we got the first one, and talk about a very nice individual. I met him and his wife when they had their facility on 59 and Southwest Freeway in Sugar Land.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It was a small little shop.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know it.
he stacked all the cars in there to get them in.
They
but,
sure did, yep.
there were some times that I did some activity on my cars that I needed a special tool or special instructions, and I would go and meet with Stephen, and he'd let me go out in the shop, and I'd talk to a couple of the fellas that he had out there, and occasionally they'd lend me the tools I needed, and I could take those home and make the repairs and take it back, and had a great relationship.
That's great.
there.
Now,
It was
as a
fantastic.
side note,
They're great
have you
people.
watched the DeLorean documentary?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Good. So you got the whole thing, how he was set up and what he did and how he did it and why he did it.
Yeah, what plate should I put on that car?
That's right.
No, actually, I do have a plate for that car. It says 88 MPH.
Nice.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes, that was. It really attracts a lot of attention. I've been pulled over before by the police just
to
to
see the
ask me
car.
about the car.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's kind of fun to do that.
Well, I keep.
Those I don't mind because they're not writing things. It's
No,
when they
that's
when they
right.
come up and say, "I need your autograph right here, please, sir."
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a
Yeah.
problem.
Well,
Yeah.
Mars has a tendency to attract those kind of police officers.
A lot of
Well,
people want my autograph.
Well, believe me, I've never been stopped in the Beetle.
I'll bet. Yeah, that's
Probably
right.
not.
What color is the Beetle?
Bright yellow.
Bright yellow.
Oh.
Okay. Just checking.
You need to paint it
Well,
red. And
listen, it is great talking to you.
All right,
Great
thank
to
you.
meet you. Do you come here frequently?
I've been here about 3 times now, and
And today's your day. Now,
Today-
did
today
you
is
tell
my
your wife,
day.
honey, I'm going to be on the radio?
me in Sin City.
you guys are going to get me in trouble.
Yeah. Well,
We try.
We
We
always
try.
try that sort of thing.
Hang on some more.
Doing a good job.
You said you retired. What'd you retire from?
I was in the oil and chemical business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Not the oil and gas business, but the oil and
chemical.
chemical.
Well, I'm thinking a plate for your DeLorean should say Pepsi,
Pepsi.
Pepsi?
because it was Coke that got him in trouble.
Whoa.
Oh, that's too much thought. That's way too much thought.
Yeah, I hear Conrad.
gotta
Yeah,
work
Conrad's
you gotta
mumbling
work too
something
hard
in the
for that.
background.
Conrad's in his lair.
Yeah, that's it. So never mind. Don't pay any attention to us. And you may want to take one of those cards.
There you go.
Gives you all the information about this
And
show.
you can tell your wife it's all these guys' fault.
And she can send comments to info@InWheelTime.
She probably will.
No doubt.
All right. Thank you a lot, guys.
Charlie,
Thank
thank
you.
you. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure. Appreciate it. All right. I want to remind you that we'd love to hear from you anytime. Just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Got a few headlines this week. Not lots, but some. Stellantis.
Again.
Sometime we're talking about things like, Chrysler Corporation. Anyway, they're recalling 212,373.1 Rams from 2015 to the 2020 model years because inflator end caps in the vehicle's airbags can detach or the inflator sidewall may rupture. Probably more information that you really needed to know. In either situation, compressed gas can escape, which might send the end cap or other parts flying into the vehicle interior and cause an injury or crash, according to documents filed with NHTSA. Recall covers certain 2015 to 20 Ram 1500 Classic, 15 to 16 Ram 3500, Ram 2500, and 2016 Ram 3500 cab chassis vehicles.
That about covers it.
Yeah. Well, it really doesn't, but you get the message. Other recalls include Infiniti from the 2021 model year. Rear view camera image may not display. Can you turn him off? Thank you.
Him who?
That would be Conrad. He's fumbling over there. Seatbelt locking retractor malfunction on the Bentley Bentayga. I know that we've got a lot of listeners that really are into the Bentayga 2020
I've been worried
model.
about mine.
Pretty much every 2021 model of the Audi is being recalled because the seatbelt locking retractor is malfunctioning. Seatbelt locking retractor malfunction on the Porsche from the 2021 model year. Cadillac CT4, CT5, roof rail side airbags may not deploy properly.
Jeff.
Tire tread separation in the Chevy Equinox and the GMC Terrain from 2021 to 22. Volkswagen Taos 2022. Volkswagen Atlas 2021 model year. Damaged relays in the fuse box may cause a thermal event.
Oh.
Toyota Yaris, fine automobile there. Being recalled from the 19 to 20 model years for the fuel pump because it may fail and the engine may stall. Hyundai Accent, Azera, Sonata, and Sonata Hybrid from 2016 to the 2020 model years. Emergency trunk release may fail, so next time we take you to the drive-in movie, keep that in mind.
May not get out.
And the same thing for the Kia Forte and Rio. Fine automobile, the Rio. Fuel delivery module may leak in the 2021 and 2022 Bronco Sports, the Ford Escape, and the Lincoln Corsair.
That could be
And
a problem.
loose rear wheel studs, not nuts, but studs, may cause wheel detachment in the Polaris Slingshot. Those things that I absolutely despise.
Have you ever driven one?
No, I haven't and have. I
drove
will
one,
not find me
and
ever in one of those.
You ought to try it.
Unless it's wrapped around a pole and I decide
It's
that I
very
want to
easy.
commit
It's
suicide.
very easy to get there and do that. I'm telling you.
Well, you live on the beach, so you probably see those all the time down there.
No. I drove one in Dallas.
I like the ones that have all the lights all over them that run around at night and pass me doing 100 miles an hour while I'm on the tollway doing
In the slow
70.
lane, yeah.
You're over in the slow lane. You're probably the guy in the $50 lane doing 70.
That's me.
And everybody else is doing 100 over in the slow lane.
Well,
that's me.
that's the Polaris things. You know, and while I'm at it, is this the complaint department?
Yes, it
May I
is.
complain?
Absolutely.
So I'm coming home from work the other night, and
I
I have to tell you that I'm running down the tollway. Now, typically, I'll set the cruise control at 73 miles an hour, just right under the
10.
the 10 over
Yep.
limit. Okay? Now, I understand that I'm kind of slow these days because most people are doing 80.
Kinda.
We've got an officer right
Here
here. Might wanna
come-
take notes on it.
He's taking notes. And here come this pack, this bevy of Harleys. Bunch of old white guys doing like 90. Do you know how stupid that looks to me?
You know, did they have red and yellow?
They had
badging on the back?
No, I don't know what it was. They had some sort of a,
Club.
running their colors thing. And I just wanted to say to you guys, really stupid. Just stupid.
Did they have their ape hangers and?
I had all sorts of different things. But if that's your thing, my good buddy Rob Geiger is in some sort of Harley club. Okay, well, good luck to you. Not my cup of tea.
Okay.
Just saying.
I understand. I haven't found a motorcycle I can't wreck.
Really? Ask Conrad about motorcycles.
I'm telling you.
Yep.
All right, time to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time program. We appreciate you hanging on with us. Thank you very much for being with us, and we'll be back after these brief messages.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In Real Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.